There's a rampant misconception in human experience that goes like this. These circumstances please me and these do not. So I will use all of my power, even gathering together with others, to orchestrate change in the condition, because a better condition will make us all feel better. And we say, how's that working out? You can't even get your kids to do what you want them to do. And you will never get the world even to come to agreement about what is the right thing to do. Have you noticed? Imagine a universe where every point of consciousness is seen as valuable and expanding. And every point of consciousness gets to individually choose what they personally prefer. And source responding to every point of consciousness, so everyone getting what they want. A never-ending flood of resources. That's what you've got going on here. You do not need to compete with others for resources, because the resources expand exponentially in direct relationship to the asking that you offer. And any shortage that any of you or anyone that you know is living is not because the resources are limited. It's because you are crossways of the resources. When you beat the drum of lack, the abundance that you've been asking for cannot come to you. It defies law. You must beat the drum of what you want in order to be a vibrational match to what you want. And only when you are a vibrational match to what you want will what you want come to you. It's really a lovely thing. It's so nice to know that in this plethora of emotions, that there is always one emotion that you can always reach from wherever you are. And that is the emotion of relief. If you are in despair, you cannot find the emotion of appreciation. They are very different vibrationally. And in fact, when you reach for the vibration of appreciation from your place of despair or depression or anger or fear, you can't find it. It's too far apart. But you could find a thought that feels a little better. You could find a thought that feels a little better. And when you understand that that's all you need to do, just lean downstream, so to speak. Just reach for the best feeling thought that you can find from where you are. Now that will really serve you, because in time, as you're reaching for something that feels better and reaching for something that feels better on topic after topic, before you know it, you've trained yourself into alignment with who you really are on topic after topic. And now you're letting flow to you whatever it is you've been asking for. Of course, so here you stand, exploring contrast, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want. And at first, when you send off that rocket of desire, the source within you follows it, but you don't, because you're still defending or justifying why you want it. But when you begin to turn your attention to what you want and why you want it, and you begin to talk about why you want it rather than how you're going to get it or when it's going to come or where it's going to come from, as you begin to talk about what you want and why you want it, you turn in the direction of it, and you begin closing that gap. As you close the gap, circumstances, events begin to line up for you, and you begin to notice that all around you, things are lighting up. There's this never-ending unfolding that is taking you right to where you want to be. We think it is such a lovely thing when you catch on that your emotions tell you everything, and that the better you feel, the more you are moving toward what you want, and the worse you feel, the more you are not. We also think it's a wonderful thing that you have manifestations that show you exactly where your vibration is. Do you understand that whatever it is you are living is a perfect vibrational match to what you've been thinking and feeling? Isn't that nice to know? Nothing that you're living just came out of the blue. Sometimes it comes out of the oblivious, but it never comes out of the blue. You're offering a vibration about it, or it could not happen. Let's say that there's a condition in your body and it's not pleasing, maybe even frightening to you. And we say, oh, all it is a manifestational indicator of vibration. If you don't like the manifestation, just change the vibration and the manifestation must shift. And we want you to understand that you can change the indicator which means you can change any manifestation. It doesn't matter if you have 12 what they call deadly diseases. It's only an indicator of vibration, and vibration is only what you've been thinking. Change the thought, change the vibration, the indicator must change. It is law. But if you are like so many people who offer your vibration because of what you're looking at, do you see the problem you would have at the gas station? You're looking at the empty indicator, which means you're done. And we want you to understand that the indicators change so rapidly. But more than 99% of every creation is completed vibrationally before you see the evidence. So you can change the thought, which changes the indicator, which is the emotional response. But it's a little while before the manifestation catches up with the emotional indicator. What we want you to accomplish as a result of our conversation here today, we want you to decide that you are going to be someone who just for a while, give it 30 days and watch your life transform. Let your emotional indicators be the indicators that matter. So you go to the doctor, he says, you're dying, and you say, aren't we all? He says, no, I mean you're on the fast track. You say, I like the sound of that in most regards. He says, no, I'm here to tell you that there isn't anything more that can be done for you because the indicators in your body show me that you are on your way out of this body. Now, if you've just heard what we just said, you would say back to him, I can see why you might say that as you look at this indicator. But I know something that you do not know. I have changed the vibrational basis that is the reason for this indicator, so that indicator has to shift. And he would say, no, I don't think so. I just gave you a test. And you would say, oh, I know. But 99% of my vibration shifts before the manifestation shifts. So I'm not using your indicators. I'm using my indicators. And my feeling of hope is the indicator that tells me I've shifted. My indicator of positive expectation is the indicator that shows me that I've shifted. And I've come to know that when my vibration shifts, my indicator shifts. So keep watching, Doc, because you're going to see something different here once I get 99% of it completed vibrationally. Now, if he's wise, he'll say, I've seen things like this before. There have been a handful of scantily documented cases where someone disagreed with my ruling and surprised me. And we say, you can only do that when you let your own vibrational gap be what you're giving your attention to. If you're listening to the peanut gallery out there, everybody's got a different opinion of where you are in relationship with where they think you should be. And we want you to understand that the only relationship that matters is where you are in relationship with who life has caused you to become. And we would like to say to you that the sicker you are in your physical body, the weller you are vibrationally. And the weller you are vibrationally, the stronger the call of source is. But you got to turn in the direction of it. And fear is turned upstream. We see you. You take your raft down to the river, you put it in, and invariably, you human buggers, you turn it upstream and begin paddling very hard. And we say, why not go with the flow? And you say, oh, that's far too easy. That just seems lazy. Anybody could do that. We've been trained to try hard. We've been trained to struggle, to persevere, to be virtuous and valiant. And we say, but nothing you want is upstream. You're not even making any headway. You're paddling and paddling and paddling, but you're not getting anywhere against this current. All you're doing is keeping yourself from enjoying the ride. Everything that you want is downstream. And the reason that we know that is we're downstream with it. The reason we know that is because we saw you coming in. You are part of that which we are. We watched you with the contrast. We saw that which you have become. We gave our undivided attention to what you've become. We've been calling you toward it ever since. But you're going the wrong way. Negative emotion always means you're going in opposition to who you have become and what you want. No exceptions every time. So then you say, well, what do I do when I have negative emotion and I can't get rid of it? And we say, you can't get rid of anything. There is no such thing as getting rid of anything in a universe that's based on inclusion and attraction. So the key is to give your attention to what you want, to talk about what you want. And you say, I can't, I don't have it. We say, imagine it. You say, I can't, what I'm living is too big. We say, then look for the best parts of what you're living. You say, I can't, there aren't any good parts. We say, then you're screwed. If you have no ability to reason, if you have no ability to decipher, if you have no willingness to try to feel a little better, then you are on empty, and hang on, it'll be over soon. People say, I've jumped out of an airplane, I'm at 40,000 feet, I have no parachute. What should I do? We say, hang on, it'll be over soon. But you're far from that. In other words, you have all of these resources. You have source energy calling you. You have source energy who has become all that you want. There is a veritable fortune amassed for you, and clarity and bodily conditions that will please you in relationships. All of the things that your life has helped you carve out are here for you, calling you toward them, and so close to you. If you knew how close you are to the success that you want, and if you would let the success that you seek be emotional success of joy, if you would say, nothing is more important than the way I feel, and today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, it is my dominant intent to look for that which I'm wanting to see. Oh, I can't help but decipher, but once I come to a conclusion, I'm going to give it my undivided attention. Do you go to the buffet and say to the nice people behind the counter, I don't like that, and 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 I don't like that. I really don't like that. That sort of makes me sick even to look at it. I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. And in time, they would say, this might go faster if you would just tell us what you do want us to put on your plate. We think that your ability to decipher contrast has sort of gone awry, in the sense that you become so problem-oriented. That's what's going on with this global warming thing. Do you know, if you were to accurately depict the bad things that are going on your planet in relationship with the good things, and CNN or some other news channel were to make a commitment that they would give you a proportionate accounting of what's going on, the news would go zip across your screen once a year. Zip. And you say, what's that? Oh, that was this year's bad news. But instead, they scour the planet after sending their own insiders of trouble. And they focus upon pockets of things not going well. They exaggerate them, put music behind them, and put them on an incessant loop, and feed them into your living rooms. And you come away with it with a distorted, disproportionate view of this magnificent planet of well-being upon which you are living. You don't focus there and destroy your planet, because you are not the creator of this planet. Good for you. You don't destroy the planet by focusing negatively upon it. You just use it as your temporary excuse to not allow you to be who you are. In other words, you just use it as one more reason to not allow the resources that are flowing to you to flow to you. The good news is the dilution ratio is such that many of those who are really, 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 really worried about things, the longer you live, the more you find to fuss and worry about things. You keep croaking. And that's such a good thing. Because when you do, you reemerge back into pure positive energy, and new energies come forth frisky and knowing well-being predominantly. Then there is the animal content of your planet. They are pure positive energy. Those that you domesticate begin to act a little bit like you, but those in the wild who are on the whole pure positive energy, they are adding enormously to the balance of your planet. And then there are those like you who come into conscious, deliberate alignment. In other words, this is the time of awakening. There has never been a time on this planet more prosperous and more ready for the benefit of life in any time-space reality. And as you line up with that and thrive, there will be others that say, oh, you're thriving disproportionately. And then you must say to them, you know, I've been well for so long that I considered for the next decade being sick, so that sick people could be well. And then I realized, even if I got sick, they wouldn't use the wellness. And in the same way, I've decided not to deprive myself of anything, because my deprivation does not leave it in a pile for somebody else to achieve. Because everybody's got their own pile. It's the promise of that which we are.